Hello guys, welcome. I'm Amy Taylor from Lulu Bean Designs, and I have a fun floral pattern that I'm going to paint with y'all today. Have not been live in forever. I've just been super busy, and it's been just in the back of my mind that I need to start doing lives again. I would like to try and do at least once a week, preferably 2 lives if I can get my ducks in a row to get that done. But I'm sure y'all have had as crazy of a year as I have, and it's just been hard to get organized with, everybody in the house and the schedules being just so different from how they normally are. So what I'm going to paint today for y'all is this fun floral design. So I have a big circle cut out, too big to fit in the camera. What happens over here regularly is that I rearrange my craft room all the time because things change and I decide that I don't like it the way it is and I need to move it around again, and it's constantly changing. And so the most recent thing that I decided to do was basically to put it back the way I had it before, because in order to do lives for y'all, this is the best arrangement. It's not the best arrangement for actual crafting or project, completion, but honestly, I don't do that in here anyway. I spread out in my kitchen counter. I don't know about y'all, but I'm all over my kitchen. It stresses me out when my husband gets home in the evenings and I'm still not done working and I still have paint on the counter. I know some of y'all can relate to that. And I guess I should probably start, before we start painting, just to say thank y'all so much for being in the group. You may have watched some of my videos before. Hi, Shannon, welcome. Please, y'all, feel free to comment. I really wish you would comment and chat with me, because it's hard to do a live when no one's interacting with you. So I love when you guys comment and just let me know what you're doing today. Let me know what's going on with you and your craft business, or just I don't know if you have a machine to craft just for fun, or if you have it to, maybe do some business. I think a lot of us are both of those things. So please just comment and let me know, what's going on with you, and tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from and what kind of machine you have. Okay, so I started this group, and I won't harp on this long because I know y'all want to see some painting, but I started this group because I wanted a place where we could all come together and share files. I feel like there are a couple other groups out there. They're each geared towards, a little bit different specific goal in mind with laser crafting. And I got a little frustrated sometimes because I felt like certain things I wanted to share may not have been allowed or appropriate, or I was having a hard time wording what I wanted to share to get my posts to not be taken down. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I don't want to be, say anything about any other groups. Everybody has their own thing, but my group, I'm very laid back in the Glowforge File Sharers group. Thank you, Casey. Is it Casey or Cassie? I know that doesn't do me any good to ask you because I can't hear your voice and hear how you pronounce it. You have a laser that you use in Kentucky. Awesome. So, excuse me. So I wanted a place where not only could I share my files so that y'all could find them, but that you guys could share your files too. So if you make files and you've been hesitant to share in the group, I encourage you to please do so, because, we're all crafters. We all have different talents. We all have different styles, and my style might not be your style. It might not be what you like to, how you like to create. So if you have your own style, or you have, customers who like that specific style, feel free to share in the group. And, maybe one day if it gets really, overpopulated, a lot of people in there sharing, and it's hard to find things, I might have to set it up a little bit differently, but for now it's kind of like we're open. I just want everybody to be kind and supportive to each other and to share, and that's about it. So okay, this is what the reason why I'm making this sign. Behind me I've got a TV in my craft room, and that I put that up I think back at Christmas time. And I'm going to move it over to the other wall over here so that, you know, my daughter and I kind of sit in here. I have a little small like apartment sofa in here, and we sit down and, you know, hang out and watch our girl shows and stuff. But I want a prettier backdrop for my lives, even though once I actually start crafting, I'm going to angle it down so y'all can see my work surface here. But I do want something pretty hanging up there. And so I thought, well, I'll do a floral design because most of these are for nursery signs, but I really love them, and I don't have a baby, and I don't have any babies right now that need a nursery sign, but I wanted to make a floral sign. So I chose this one. This is a brand new design that I just created yesterday, and it's relatively simple. It's a good beginner project because it's clean lined. It's not a lot of little tiny pieces that are going to fall through your honeycomb tray, because I know how frustrating that can be. So this is a nice beginner project. I will link in the comments the link to the file, but I also posted it in the group today. So if you want the file link to purchase it, and don't forget to use the group code. The code is group20, no spaces, to get 20% off. Y'all always get 20% off of all my files. So, okay, I'll stop babbling. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy this project. And bear with me, y'all. It has been a while since I've gone live, and I'm certainly no expert at it. I've never claimed to be. I've tried 5 different camera setups, and none of them really seem to be the best thing, and I can't figure out a good way of having myself and my project in the camera at the same time. I do know there's a new... Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. But there is some app that you can use where you can have like a split screen where you're in one side and the project is in the other side. And I'm going to try to get that going. All right, so what I'm going to do first here, and this might be a little bit of a challenge, is I want to paint the background of this piece of wood dark gray. I'm sorry I'm saying so much. Chalk paint. I almost said chalkboard paint. I want to paint it chalk paint, and I don't have gray chalk paint, so I'm going to mix some black and white, and I'm hoping that I'll come up with a good shade of dark gray. I want it to pop against these light blue walls in here. Let's see. I'm trying to read some of y'all's comments. Let me move it here. I'm going to refresh my screen here so I can see the comments on my computer. That'd be the easiest way. So y'all, this circle is 21 inches, which is kind of an odd size, but that's just what fit in my space up here behind me. Hold on, let me get on my computer here. There we go, so I can see your comments. Thank you, Amy. She says it's an app called Switcher. Yeah, that's it. I watched a YouTube video on it the other day, and I think I'm probably gonna want more white than black to get this, because a little bit of black paint goes a long way. And y'all, this is just crazy, but is anybody else really upset that they can't get Waverly white chalk paint right now? I love me some Waverly white chalk paint, and I can't find it anywhere. Of course, Walmart, you know, that's the only place I do know that normally has it, but they've been out. This is home decor white chalk paint, and little bitty containers of it, because I do have this old one, but I think it's kind of dried up. That's all I could find at Hobby Lobby. And Hobby Lobby is where I usually find the biggest selection of paint around here. All right, I don't even know if I'm mixing up enough of this to cover my sign. I sure hope I am. I probably should have done this part ahead of time. So I'm hoping I can get the right shade of gray on here. I'm just using an egg carton to mix my paint. I like doing that because on the other side, the little small, oops, I got a crack in there. That's gonna leak out of there. I'm gonna need some more black paint. I want this to be a dark gray. This black chalk paint is so thick. This is Waverly black chalk paint. That's probably gonna be too much black. I don't do a lot of gray, dark gray backgrounds, so this is why I'm kind of unsure of how this is gonna go. That doesn't start, it's gonna leak out of there, make a big mess. I probably should have done this in a bowl. That's getting a little bit better. That's going to be a nice charcoal color. Yeah, I should have definitely gotten like a plastic bowl or something to mix this up in, since I need a lot of it. Oh, Amy said they just stocked at her Walmart. Oh my gosh, I have been looking for months. So they had Waverly White, Amy. You guys, if you have not seen Amy's lives, check her out. Amy, you can comment with your business name. She has gone live a couple times in my group, probably more than I have in my own group. But she, bless her heart, always grabs my files and makes them beautiful because, you know, she has more energy than I do. That's all I can say. I am just getting this everywhere. Can you tell I don't normally use this side of the egg carton because I'm just making a big mess and it's leaking out of the holes that I didn't know were there. All right. Always on a live. Now, I have a big brush, but I already have paint all over this brush, so I think I might just go ahead and just use this brush and get a coat of gray paint on here on this board. A lot of times what I do when I'm doing a board, that like a big board like this, is I take a sponge and just do it that way because it goes on a whole lot quicker. But just, you know, because I'm doing a live, I didn't feel like making a mess. Well, I'm making a mess anyway, but I was trying to not have to get, you know, put gloves, because normally when I use a sponge, I put gloves on, and because it gets all over my hands if I don't, and I'm actually almost out of gloves. So I'm just going to use a paintbrush and get a nice coat of gray paint on here. I really like that shade of gray. That's turning out exactly like I envisioned. Oh, thank you, Amy. Okay, so I see a couple people commenting about the different types of machines they have. So you guys, when I make files, I normally do, like, you know, the zip file. Y'all who have bought my files before, I do the zip file that has the SVG, DXF, PDF, and JPEG. Does anybody use anything but the SVG file? Because I always wonder. I do it that way because I come from the world of Cricut and Silhouette. That's what I did for years before I ever had a laser. So everybody always wanted those versions of the files. And so that's the way I've always done it. But I feel like everybody in the laser world just wants the SVG file. I mean, I know that's what I use when I make something. So y'all comment and let me know. You're doing, oh, you're doing the new one today? Can't wait to see it. If you guys make this project, please post pictures in the group. I love when y'all post pictures and share those, because I love to see all the different takes on it. I'm gonna do, I love pink. I'm a pink girl, anything pink, but my craft room is shades of aqua. So I'm gonna keep my flowers more of like a couple shades of aqua. I'm trying to stay on the screen here so y'all can see. Not that this is very interesting. It's just painting a big dark gray circle. I almost did farmhouse like shiplap lines on this, which actually are on the back of this because that's what I was originally gonna do. But then I changed my mind at the last minute because I thought it might be too busy and I didn't want it to be like super busy on my wall. So since it's an odd size, I didn't go cut another one. I just flipped it over. Oh, I thought I wasn't gonna have enough paint, but I think I mixed up too much paint. I see people saying they use the SVG. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wonder, because honestly, it takes more time to convert them to all those different formats. I mean, it's easier just to do the SVG and zip all the SVGs up into one file. And then another question that I've always wondered when I make files is, so I know there are a lot of people who use their machine and they don't use software. Like you guys, some people, especially like those of y'all who just started with like a Glowforge or a laser, and you haven't really learned the ropes of Inkscape or Illustrator or one of the programs that you use. So I usually make my files, like once I make them, I size them down so that the whole project will fit on your Glowforge bed, because I don't want to have anybody, because I do have people messaging me going, you know, how do I resize this? And unfortunately, my answer is usually to ask in the group, because there are so many different ways of doing it with the different programs that are out there. I'm just using a baby white because, well, I think I might just set this aside so I can paint my flowers while this dries. All right, hold on. What I love about laser projects is that the sides are already, you know, finished. They've got that nice dark edge, and you don't have to paint the sides unless you accidentally get paint on the sides, I guess. All right, let me find a place to set this. I might run in here in my kitchen and set it in here. Hang on one second, y'all. I'm out of like surface area. That's one thing that's in a premium in my craft room is counter space to set stuff. All right, I'm just gonna wipe this down with a baby wipe so I don't get more of a mess going here than I wanted. Gotta have baby wipes in your craft room. So it looks like most of y'all are saying SVG. All right, that is good to know. Okay, so we've got, let me scoot y'all closer over here. Sorry, I hope I'm not making you dizzy. Okay, so I've got the florals cut out. What I did was, and I know this is backwards to y'all because, here, you know what, actually, I can flip it. Hang on one second. If I can remember after all this time what button it is, and that's the brightness. Bear with me for a second. I'm gonna flip this around. There we go. Okay, so now y'all are actually seeing it and it won't be backwards to you, but it's backwards to me on the screen, so it'll throw me off a little bit, but that's all right. So what I do is the same thing most of y'all probably do, is when I cut my stuff out on my laser, in order to get it out of the laser without it all falling out in the crumb tray, is to put some painter's tape down. So if you don't know that trick, if you're brand new to this, that is the way, the first thing you want to learn with your laser is to put some painter's tape down and to just be able to lift everything out. And I normally, what I'll do is if I have some words or some images that I want to cut out and I don't want to have all these little pieces to pull out, I'll cut a circle or an oval or square, whatever, around it. And most of y'all know these tips already. This is, you know, kind of beginner stuff for lasers, but if you don't know, just to cut like a shape around it to be able to have everything on one piece, it just makes your life a little bit easier. So I just put an oval around these florals, and what I could do is I could paint them in here, but I'm probably not going to do that because none of these are really tiny, and I do want them to be different colors, and I'm not using paint pens. If I was using paint pens, then I would probably just paint them like inside of this oval. But I'm using Deco Art Americana paint. So I'm just gonna go ahead and peel off my painter's tape. Oh, thanks, Amy. The gray, I do like the gray. I was a little bit worried about getting that mixed right and then not having enough and having to mix it again and then having the wrong shade. All right, so the colors that I'm thinking I'm gonna use are, and I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I've got setting out. This is Laguna by Deco Art. And then I've got, this is a shade lighter. It's called Sea Breeze. I love Deco Art Americana paints. I feel like they're nice and thick. They go on so nice. The other shade for the flowers, you can't see it because the container is white, but my walls in my craft room are a Sherwin-Williams color called Rain Washed, which is like a very pale blue-green. In some lights it looks blue, in some lights it looks green. It's really it kind of varies. This is just a little sample of that wall color that I got at Lowe's. So I have that, and it's actually I think it's a satin finish. But I thought I would probably use that in some of the flowers just to pull that color from the walls. And I'm thinking the greens that I'm probably going to use, unless I decide I don't like them, are citrus green, citron green, and Hauser light green. Okay, so those are the colors. Not to say I won't pull something else out, but that's what I think I'm going to use. And I'm just going to go ahead and take these out of here. And I want to arrange them so I make sure and I paint everything the right color, so two things aren't next to each other that are the same color. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of, let's see which one that fits in. Or maybe that goes, it's like putting a puzzle together, isn't it? I think that goes like that. And this probably goes, yep. I should have paid more attention when I pulled it out of there. Why isn't that fitting? Probably because it goes down here more. One of these goes like down here. I don't know if it's that one. No, it fits together perfectly. Sorry, bear with me for a second. It might be like that. Hold on, y'all. All right, wait a minute. I think I got it. All right, like that. And then this one must go down here. Like that. Okay, there we go. Yep. All right, so those go like that. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in screen. And then this little centers. And then this one is going to go here. And this one's going to go here. And then these... Oh, good, it's fitting. Sort of. There we go. Like that. And like that. Yep, I think I got it in the right spots. All right, and then these little guys, I have a picture I'm looking over at to make sure I get these in the right spot. And these, I don't think it really matters so much, but they're basically going to go like in here, and a big one like that and like that. Okay, so that's basically how that's gonna go. Whoops, let me scooch all so you can see. Okay, all right, so now I know what's what, so I know what to paint, the right colors. I think I'm gonna start out with my Laguna. Turn my fan on, it is hot in here. You do that all the time, Heather. That is, yes, thank you. It is, and it's like stressful when it's on camera and it's your file, because you're like, y'all, I promise you this does fit together. I know it does. So I was like, oh Lord, please let this work. Any other time it would have gone right together. What kind of paintbrush do I want? I think this one. All right. So I'm going to do this big flower in the darkest shade, which is that Laguna. And I'm a big fan of angled brushes, so most of my brushes are really old and loved. And I like to paint towards the outside edge because I feel like I keep my edges the cleanest that way. I don't know how y'all like to do it, but that is how I try to keep it clean so I don't have as much to have to go back and wipe up and touch up with my marker. So I want to try to start going live more. My friend Joy is coming over. Joy, I don't know if you're on here. I haven't seen your name pop up. She's coming over Friday, and we are going to do a live together that day in the group. So I'm excited about that. So 2 times in 1 week, y'all. Pretty good, right? It's intimidating. Who goes live? Does anybody else go live? I know Amy does. Does anybody else go live in their groups? Now see, I'm going to get this all turned around again and not be able to get it back together. I don't know what in the world I am thinking. It's just because I'm live. All right. Is that the way that goes? I think it is. Okay, we'll keep that there. And then, so that means that these little centers are going to be the same color. So while I have that paint on my brush, I'm just going to go ahead and get those. Some of these paints, I generally do 2 coats on everything, if not 3, if it's like one of those colors that just like a yellow or an orange and it doesn't want to cooperate, then I might do 3. But sometimes you can get away with deco art. Sometimes you can get away with 1 because they're such vivid colors. Your 6-year-old gets it before you. I can't imagine having a little one running around when you're trying to do stuff like this. My kids are teenagers now, and I know when they were little, they would have been messing with my machine all up in my business. So more power to y'all that have little ones and are trying to do this kind of thing. The wood that I cut my flowers from is my favorite wood. It's what I use for almost everything. And it's 1/4 inch maple, pure bond maple that I get from Lowe's. So y'all will laugh. So yesterday I go up to Lowe's because I'm totally out of wood. This is my rain wash color. It doesn't look like much of a color on camera, but it's a very light blue green. And it's a Sherwin-Williams color, but it is, you know, mixed up with, well, actually this is Sherwin-Williams. I didn't even realize Lowe's had Sherwin-Williams. I thought they were just matching the color for me. Did not realize. All right, I'm gonna try to keep this turned the right way so I don't have to figure out where it goes again. So it looks on this wood, it looks like a really pale, very pale, like powder blue is what it looks like. So I go up to Lowe's yesterday, to the Lowe's near me, and I find my wood guy who I was like, oh, thank goodness, Jordan is here. Jordan is amazing. He is so sweet, and he always happily cuts the wood. I'm not trying to get it cut into little, you know, small pieces or anything. I'm just trying to get my 4x8s cut down into 3 pieces. They have to be, I cut them at 3 feet and then I cut them again at 6 feet. So then I have 2 feet left over at the end, and that way I can fit them in my laser. So I'm not asking to have them cut into really small pieces, but a lot of times they still do not really seem to want to cut your wood for you at Lowe's. So I go up there and they don't have any of the wood that I normally use. And I've never seen them out of wood. I was like, oh no, this is not good. And so I drive across town to the next Lowe's that I know normally has that wood. And I'm thinking their saw is going to be broken. I just know it. So I had my saw in the car. I had packed up I ordered a cordless mini circular saw, and so I had, you know, put that together. I had put the blade in. I had watched a video on how to use it. I had my gloves, my measuring tape, my goggles, my pencil, everything, ready to go, because I just knew that their saw was going to be broken, and it was not broken. So they were able to cut my wood for me. But I told the guy, he was laughing at me, because I told him, I said, if your saw had been broken, I had big plans to lay my wood across the cart thing, the, you know, the little buggy corral thing in the parking lot. I was going to lay my wood across it, and I was going to cut it myself and then put it in my car. And, you know, my husband helps me with this when he can, but he was at work and I needed my wood. So he thought I was kidding. I was like, I'm not kidding. I was like, I will take it right out there and cut it if I have to. And he's like, oh, I would never want you to do that. He was so sweet. He's like, I would never want you to have to do that. And I'm like, it's really not a big deal, actually. But I just knew they were going to be like, what is this crazy woman doing? But I didn't have to go there. So Cassie, I hope I'm calling you the right thing. Or Casey, you said you use an alcohol pad. That's interesting. I have never used alcohol to wipe up my paint edges. I use a baby wipe, or I take either a black Sharpie or a black, I have a different kind of like a brush tip black marker that I use. And I will use that to clean up the edges sometimes. That works really well. Okay, so those are all my blues that I'm gonna do. So I didn't end up needing that lighter shade of blue. And I think, oh, wait a minute. I'm still gonna have to do these two right here. So maybe I'll do those in that light color too. So tell me, comment and tell me if you guys like to make floral signs. If y'all make, you know, nursery signs. You're terrified to go live. You know what? It is terrifying. It literally still to this day, and I mean, I've done it for a couple years now. It still gives me a stomach ache. Just kind of dreading it. But then once I do it, I really love talking to y'all. Like I love chit-chatting with y'all, but I feel like it's just par for the course that something is going to go wrong. Nothing big, you know, it is what it is. It's crafting, so how bad can it be? But, you know, there's the pressure of, okay, this is my business, and you want it to look professional. And so that's, you know, that's a lot of pressure. So, but that's not going to happen because it's real life and it's live. You don't get to edit this stuff. So you're going to forget something. You're going to forget your paintbrush or your sanding block or your water or, you know, whatever, or your throat's going to go dry and you're going to have to run and grab something to drink or whatever. You know, it's always something. For me today, it was also that I forgot to turn my notifications off on my phone, which is a rookie mistake, but I forgot. So they're popping up on there. Okay, so now I'm thinking I'm gonna do some Hauser green. Let me grab a smaller brush. Oh, this brush is all gunked up. That's not gonna work. You always tell your husband you're going to cut it yourself in the parking lot. I know my husband was like, he's like, are you seriously going to do that? And I said, yes, I absolutely am. I have no problem doing that. I just wonder if they're going to have a problem with me doing it. But we didn't have to find out. So at some point, I am very certain we will have to find out. This piece would be really good if you have a paint pen. And I have some paint pens, but I can't find one that is this green. And I love this Hauser green. It just always looks so good for leaves. And I'm trying not to get it down on the sides. at least the pressure is off that this sign is for me in my craft room. It's not for a customer. So if it's got a little bit of paint on the sides, it's no big deal. Yeah, I don't mind using power tools. I've never used a circular saw. I've used a jigsaw, but this little mini circular saw, it looks awesome. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but I kind of played with it before I left the house, and it's just perfect. It's like the perfect little size, and it's cordless. So I'm kind of excited to have that as an option. My husband said that would be quicker than a jigsaw, because I was going to get a cordless jigsaw. And then I think Amy also, I think she said, Amy Renee, that she used the little mini circular saw. So I was like, well, I'm going to try this thing. It had really good reviews on Amazon. All right, so there's some of my leaves, that Hauser green color. And I think I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do this one in the other color. I'll do this one in the Hauser green. So what are you guys working on today? Y'all comment and let me know. Are you guys watching from home or from work? If you're able to work outside your house right now. Okay. And let me think. Maybe I'll just go ahead and hit these little tiny pieces here. These little tiny stems. I'll hit those with a little of the same green. I've got a bunch of blanks that I need to get back at cutting out after I'm done. All right, and I think this one is the last one I'm going to do in the Hauser green, and I think the rest of them I'll probably do that other bright shade of green. Hopefully that won't look too bright. Margie, you love to make florals. They're so pretty, but I just don't have, I don't have a need for them that often. You know, like I just, I feel like the tiered tray kits are so popular right now, but I love making florals. Like I like doing florals better than the tiered tray kits, because they're a lot of work to paint. I mean, they're fun, y'all, but I'm sure you know, if you make the tiered tray kits, I mean, they're a lot of work. Okay. Yeah, I don't love making the tiered tray kits. I love making the files for them because they're super fun to put together and come up with different ideas. All right, so the next green color, I can't talk today, and I don't know if this might be too bright, citron green. Okay, I'm gonna try this and see what we think. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a pretty color that would pop against that gray. That's why I grabbed it. And I probably need like a tiny brush. Oh, I've used this color before. Okay, so this color, y'all, this is gonna need 2 coats, if not 3. Well, it really all needs 2 coats. I'm just saying because I'm doing it live and because I'm making it for myself that I might be able to get away with 1 coat. But I normally would never just put 1 coat on anything for an order. I just don't want to keep y'all for like hours and hours painting. Unless y'all want to watch for hours and hours. I'm sure this is not that exciting. I think that Joy and I, when we go live on Friday, I'm not sure what she's painting, but I think I'm gonna do the pumpkin pie cutting board sign. The one that's like something, you know, like a wall hanging you would hang in your kitchen for fall. I think I'm gonna paint that on Friday. That's the one that comes, you get 2 files in the kit. You get the gingerbread one and the pumpkin pie one. All right, that's all the green. I think before I switch over to the letters, I'm gonna just touch up. Let me get a smaller brush that doesn't have paint gunked on it. I need to clean my brushes. That's what I need to do. Because I saw I missed a spot on here, right there. I know what I need to do. I need to put my glasses on. And I don't see them. They're probably in the garage because I was out there cutting wood. Your husband has taught you to use all the power tools. You can run a saw and your router. That is awesome. I've never used a router. I see everybody talking about a router. I've never used a router before, y'all. I know that's what you make your circles with, right? And then you get something called a jig. I really have no idea because I went straight from a jigsaw to a laser. And the laser that I ended up getting was a thunder laser. So it's big enough that I can cut my circles with it up to, well, I mean, I could go up to like 36 inches if I really wanted to. I don't ever cut anything that big though. I pretty much stop at 24 inches because, for circles, because it costs too much to ship. Like if I was making something local, that would be fine, but it costs enough just to ship something that's 24 inches. But to go above that, oh my goodness, it's gotten outrageous. So I usually tell people that message me and ask me to make something bigger than that, I'm like, you probably should find somebody local because it's going to cost a fortune to ship. I can't do free shipping for something that big. Especially like across the country. Can y'all hear my little fan running? Hopefully, I've got it turned on low, so hopefully it's not like obnoxious. I stay hot, especially when I'm live because I get a little bit nervous, so I've got my little mini fan going. Yeah, these definitely, I think I might just do 2 coats on all of them. I mean, I want it to look nice on my wall, so, well, we've got the paint out. It looks so much better with 2 coats. Okay, that's all the green, the dark green. 2 coats. And I'm not sure that light green is dry yet, so let me do my blues. So tell me if you guys have any file requests. Do you guys have any, especially for like the holidays, do you have anything coming up that you need me to make a design for? I'm up for ideas. And this video, you guys, will be in the replay. If anybody missed it live, you can watch in the replay. The videos stay in the group. Oh, I'm still working on, so a lot of people have been asking about the membership group where we do a project every month. I mentioned doing a membership group a couple weeks ago. I am still working on it because I've had a couple of people message me and ask me, am I still going to do it? Yes, I'm still going to do it. I'm working on getting it all set up. So I will let y'all know when I know pricing. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a project every month. And it may be a tiered tray. Some of them will be tiered trays. Some of them will be other projects, other sign projects. And I'll do a video in the group showing you how to make it. And you get that file every month. And then we're also going to have guest crafters, guest sign makers in the group that make projects as well. But those projects for this group, they will only be available to group members. So it's going to be like a special membership group. And we'll have other fun things that we do, drawings, challenges, free giveaways, things like that in the group as well. And I'm working on it now. I'm very excited about it. But I will let y'all know when I have more information, hopefully in the next week or so. All right, so I'm just doing a second coat of my rain washed. Margie says a 36-inch name sign. Are you making a 36-inch name sign, Margie? That is a huge sign. I'm impressed. Hopefully you're not trying to ship that bad boy. I'm seeing these temporary price hikes by the post office. And I'm wondering, are they really going to be temporary? Because I have my doubts. They go up every year. I've been doing this for, how long have I been doing this? 10 years. And every year it gets more and more expensive. One tip, if you guys, have you ever heard of Pirate Ship? It's a third-party shipping site. So I sell through Etsy, but I ship through Pirate Ship. And it is cheaper a lot of times than the post office, but you print post office labels. So you're still using the US Postal Service, but you're printing everything through Pirate Ship. So you can save a couple bucks sometimes by using it. Not always. It's never more expensive that I've ever seen. It's always been cheaper, if not the same price. I feel like it's faster too. Like sometimes Etsy, they did something a couple years ago. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. They did some change to their site, and for some reason, it takes longer to load your order page than it used to. And I know it's not that long, but I mean, when you're sitting there trying to print labels and you're having to do it repeatedly, it's frustrating because it didn't used to do that. I don't know why. It's not my computer. It is the site. So I don't know why it does that. All right, so I'm gonna do one more coat of the light green. And then we'll have our flowers pretty much done. Just wiping my hands with some baby wipes. You cut 2 tier trays this morning and you're planning to paint them this evening. They are a lot of work. They're so cute when they're done. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. And I did cut out the Christmas story one, and I was gonna do it live, and I'm not gonna say I still won't do it live, but it would be a long live probably to do one of those sets on video, because it's a lot of work. Maybe I could just do, you know, part 1 and part 2. I don't know. Divide it up a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of this one color because it is just thin. And I shook the bottle, but for some reason, there are a couple colors that Deco Art makes that are like this. And this is one of them. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, that's what happens with this particular shade. But it's thin. I do not like thin paint. Not a fan. Okay, so I will let all those dry, and then I'll go back and touch up the edges a little bit before I put them on my sign. So now I need to do my words. So let me try to, I'm gonna have to fit that together again because I've been chatting and not paying attention to what I'm doing, and I'm gonna have to line it all up again. Oh well. I'm going through a lot of baby wipes because I'm trying to keep my hands clean while I do this for y'all, so I don't get paint everywhere and show you my mess that I normally do. Yeah, 24 is huge anyway. You're right. You get a lot of orders for 36-inch. Oh my goodness. Those are big signs. Where are they putting those big signs? All right. Here's what I'm wondering, you guys. So this is my business name. This is, you know, Lulu Bean Designs. And I'm trying to figure out what colors. Trying to make room for everything here. And then I've got this piece down here. So it's, whoops, it's out of order. Lulu Bean. And then down here is the little designs. Little, don't y'all hate the dots on the eyes? Oh my goodness gracious. I really wish there was no such thing as a dot on an eye. It's such a pain. Okay, so we got Lulu Bean and designs right here that we have to paint. So I'm thinking, I'm hoping that this will pop enough. Should I do the darker blue on the big words and the lighter blue on the little word? Or should I do it the other way around? I'm gonna give y'all a minute. Y'all comment and let me know which way around you think I should do it. Because I'm on the fence. Because, you know, I love that dark blue, but I'm thinking for the big letters, maybe I want to use the lighter because it might pop more against the gray. I don't know. Y'all comment and let me know. I'm gonna grab my little touch-up marker here because I'll need to touch up those flowers and the letters, I'm sure. So this is what I use for the edges to touch up. This is a Memento black marker, and it has a brush tip and like a little fine tip. I never use the fine tip. This is the brush tip end, and that's what I use to touch up my letters. It's like the perfect color. It's not too dark, not too black, like a Sharpie. A Sharpie is, you know, pitch black. And this is just, I don't know, it seems like it's a little more subtle and it just touches up those edges perfectly. All right, light for the little letters. Can we see the blues? Yes. Okay, so we have the blue, the big blue, that's the big flower. And then we have the two smaller flowers. So right now we have more of this light color, this baby blue, than we do of the dark, because the dark is only the one flower. I have two of the lighter ones. So I'm thinking, I think I might want to do the darker on the big letters. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Light little letters. Dark blue on the large, light on the little. Okay, I'm seeing a consensus. Thank y'all. And where's my light? I keep closing it back up. All right, let me go ahead and just get my light done. I'm wondering if I have a light blue paint pen. I really don't want to paint those little bitty, I don't think I do though. I want it to match though. I don't know if this is gonna have this light blue. Let me see how this looks. Paint pens are so much easier on little bitty letters. All right, so I don't know if I'm gonna use this or not, but this is Heroic, I guess is how you say it, and it's the light. I don't think they put their colors on the pens. These are oil-based paint pens. Let me just see how this is gonna look. If that's gonna be the right shade. I think that's pretty close. It's a little teeny bit darker. All right, I'm going for it. So yeah, I'm just gonna do, because it's so much easier to paint these tiny little letters with the paint pen. And the flowers are not right next to this word, so I think I can get away with them being a little bit different shade of blue. The only thing I'm not crazy about with this brand of paint pens, because my favorite brand is the Posca. This is a Posca paint pen. Do y'all use these, the Posca brand? Those are my favorite. They're awesome. These are okay. They have a sheen to them, and I don't love that. But honestly, if you're gonna spray a sealer on your sign, which I don't need to do it because this is an inside sign, but normally I spray all my signs with a sealer, then that's going to give it a little sheen at the end anyway, so then everything will have the sheen. All right, so I'll have to do 2 coats of this. Get my little dot on my eye there. All right, we'll let that dry while we do the big letters. All right, why am I getting paint on my hands? Where'd that come from? I think it came from that big pot of paint that I just picked up. I am just getting phone call after phone call. It's the school again. My goodness gracious. I do not need to hear from the school again right now. It is like so many emails. Luckily, my kids are teenagers and they are very good about filtering through all this stuff and figuring it out. My son was supposed to go to his freshman year of college, and it's been really sad because we decided not to send him. The reason, because all his classes went online, and he requested to be in a double room with a roommate and was put in a single room. And I really just worried very much about the isolation because he's not going up there with anyone that he knows. And it just, you know, I know my kids' personality and meeting new people, and it was a big concern to me. And so we left the decision up to him, what he wanted to do. And so for this semester, we're going to just do the online from home. And I'm so sad about it for him, just not to have that going away, normal freshman year, first, you know, experience. But I'm hoping that we can do that second semester. Really, really hoping. And then my daughter is going to be a junior, and she is fortunate enough that she is in a health science program with her school, because she's interested in being either a dentist or a dental hygienist. She hasn't decided. And so they have a program for health science professions. So if you're interested in going into anything in that field, then you can be in this program, and that way your classes that you take are a little bit more geared toward that area. And so those classes for her will be in person, but the rest of her classes will be online. So I don't envy everyone who has small children and is having to go through all of this, for sure, because it's got to be so difficult for y'all to have to be there learning coaches at home and having to, you know, worry about masks with little kids. And it's just this year, oh goodness gracious. What a mess. It is not easy for anybody, that's for sure. Am I in camera? Okay, good. So if you're joining in late, I'm making a sign for my craft room. Normally this is a nursery sign, but instead of a name, it's got my business name on it. So we painted the flowers, and now we're doing the lettering, and then we'll do a second coat on the lettering. So we're getting there. We've got, you know, a few little touch-ups to do. This, my business name, in case you're wondering, when my daughter was little, for some reason, I have no idea why, we called her Lulu, we called her Lulu Bean. I honestly could not tell you where it came from. That's just what we called her when she was little. So that's where my business name came from. It was her little nickname. I thought about changing it later. That's why I added the She Bought a Laser, because I thought it would be difficult to find my business in a search, because it doesn't have anything related to lasers or woodworking or anything like that in it. So I kind of added that to the end. Do you guys like watching people paint? I love watching people paint. I started off, tell me how you started off with your, that's what we can talk about. How did you start off with your laser machines? Did you come from the Cricut world or the silhouette world or the door hanger world? Where did you get started, and how did you get here? I guess I should say. Because most people don't just jump right in with a laser. it's sort of a hobby that develops over time from other areas. So tell me where you started and what brought you to the laser world. You dove straight in head first with zero experience. You did? Oh my goodness, Laura. Well, good for you. Okay. So, yep, those are done until we do our second coat. Okay, so I'm going to do a second coat real quick with the paint pen. And my fan being on over here turned out to be a good thing because it's helping to dry these pieces more quickly. You're backwards like that. Since then you've purchased a silhouette. That's so funny. You don't have one yet, but you want one, Cindy. You use a silhouette now. Okay. I love my silhouette still. You can see it behind me on the shelf. I started off with the Cricut way back when the Cricut Expression had just come out. Cindy said, or Casey says, I started making door hangers after seeing a YouTube video and learned you're not a good stay-at-home mom, so door hangers give you an outlet. I'm sure you're a wonderful stay-at-home mom, but being a stay-at-home mom is a hard job. I've always worked part-time since I had kids as a nurse, but when they were little, I swear my job was busy and stressful, but I sometimes felt like it was a break when I got to leave and go to work and my mom came and kept the kids, because it's a lot of work when they're little. I think I'm a kind of a control freak, and little kids, you know, make you realize you don't have the control that you thought you did in your life. That is for sure. Okay, so that one is done. Now let's do one more coat on the big words. Let's do that. Is anybody watching any good shows lately? Since we're still sort of on, you know, like a quarantine, some of us are still at least on some kind of quarantine. I think it's safe to say the majority of the country is watching more TV than we did before. My daughter and I are watching Stranger Things over again. We just started doing that last night. We love Stranger Things, so we're watching that again. I love Dead to Me. I don't remember what season I'm on. I think it's still season 2. Are there only 2 seasons? I can't remember. I haven't watched an episode of it in a while. I need to go back and pick back up, but I loved that one. And my husband and I have been watching Bloodline on Netflix. And that's really good. Suspenseful. Good drama to watch. You're an X-ray tech. It's a break. Yes, it's a break when you go to work. I know what you mean. Mine were 2 years apart, and oh my goodness. Busy, busy, busy. All right, this thing's stuck up here. My notifications are just sticking on my screen. just want to say to the school, I will read your email. Please stop leaving me voicemails. I know they're doing the best they can, but they're contacting, you know, I can probably opt out somehow. I haven't bothered, but you know, the texts and the phone calls and the emails, and it's coming from every which way. But I do not envy being in that position right now, having to teach. Bless you if you are a teacher right now, going through all this. But trying to organize all this is a huge job. I just want to bury my head in the sand and come out in 2021. But of course, still be able to craft. Laura, I love the Deco Art Americana, which is what I'm using right now. But I also love Waverly chalk paint. And this Home Decor brand chalk paint is turning out to be really good too. So that works. And then honestly, I like the paint samples that you can get at Lowe's and Home Depot. I think those are awesome, and probably ends up being cheaper than buying all the little bitty bottles. So the little paint samples that you can get, and you can get them tinted any color you want, which is really nice. Ebony, I sometimes spray paint my letters, but if I spray paint them, then I'm stuck having to paint the sides. And that's just a whole thing that I don't want to have to contend with. When I first started doing this, I was painting the sides, and it was the biggest headache, and I finally just said, I'm not doing this anymore. I am not painting the sides. I'm like, it is just a big mess. It's a lot of work. Okay, I need my glasses to touch these edges up. Where are my glasses? Are they on this table? Oh, of course not. I just put my glasses down for my live. All right, y'all bear with me for a second. Where the heck? Here they are. They're in the kitchen. All right. So I'm going to try to do this quickly, because Lord knows y'all don't want to watch me touch up edges, because that's just not exciting. Okay. You thought you were going crazy. Painting the sides is super time consuming. Oh, girl. Painting the sides. Whew. No, thank you. Don't ever want to go there again. Not my idea of a good time, painting the sides. I finally just said, I'm not doing it. And I just let it go. And I never looked back. But now you do have to touch up the sides. All right, so see what I'm doing here, y'all? And I'm no expert, but this is how I do it. Can you? I'm saying, can you see me? And I'm not even in screen. Okay, I'm taking my pen, and I'm pointing. The pointy part I always put towards the painted side, and then I just sort of go around like that. I keep my pen parallel to my piece like that. And I feel like that is the easiest way to touch up the sides without accidentally getting the black paint on the front. And I'm trying to touch the painted parts with my fingers so I don't get paint all over my hands, because I'm just one of those people that doesn't want paint all over my hands. It's ironic that I do basically woodworking for a living, because I like my nails to look nice, and those two things kind of don't go together, but I try my best to not mess up my nails. Comment if you are a nail girl and you like to have pretty nails. I have a standing appointment every 2 weeks with Jake at Sassy Nail. Jake is my man. He does an amazing job. My nails never break when he does them. Don't have to keep going back and getting them fixed. He's amazing. All right, let's see. This is great. You learned something new. I'm so glad. This is a Memento dual tip marker. Can you see that? Sorry, I'm backwards. Memento. I had the link in the group at one point. You can get these on Amazon, or you can get them in any kind of local craft store. They are just any kind of black brush tip marker, but this particular one I love because it's not too dark. Like, see how it's touching up those edges, but they don't look like I've taken a black Sharpie and touched them up, because the Sharpies are just darker, like a darker tint. So, all right, I think I got on my light blue. I'm trying to go in order here so I don't forget to do a piece. All right, let me do my dark blue. And I mean, I am definitely not, I mean, I'm sure there are way better sign makers in this group than me. I just am showing you my way of doing it. Some of y'all might be looking at my way of doing it and going, that's just a hot mess. Why is she doing it like that? I don't sand the surface of my letters a whole lot. I know some people are real worried about all this stuff being super smooth, and they prime and they sand and they paint and they sand again. And I don't, unless it really looks rough to me, I don't do that. Unless it's like, sometimes if it's a lighter color, it'll really show, like the roughness of the wood will show, and you'll have to sand. But for the most part, I don't do that. I come from the world of door hangers. As far as like painting goes, that was what I first started painting, was door hangers. And I never went back and sanded the surface of those. So it's just not something I've ever done. This is still a little bit damp. So to me, it's just one more thing to have to do. Unless it really looks like it needs it, I don't do that. So maybe that makes me not like as professional as others, but I try to make my work still look, you know, very professional. Sometimes I'll take a sanding block and I'll go back and just do a real light little sand on the surface. But I'm more worried about paint on the sides, because I want that to look perfect. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? I'm sorry. It's hard to like, here, I'm gonna scoot this closer. It's hard to see what I'm doing for this part and have it still in the camera. All right, so just turning and rotating and trying to find all the little places that need to be touched up. And see how nice that looks? This color just does a great job with the touch-ups. And I feel like when you do it this way, it really keeps a nice clean edge. Sometimes you have to wipe a little paint off of your black marker. Cindy, I don't know if I answered your question already. I am using 1/4 inch maple. That is what I use for almost everything I cut is 1/4 inch maple, Pure Bond from Lowe's. It comes in a 4x8 sheet, and where I live, it is $23. So I don't buy that super expensive proof grade stuff that I hear about. And I feel like I used to use birch from Home Depot. Once I found this maple at Lowe's, I never went back. It is beautiful. It cuts so nice. It's so smooth. That's another thing. I feel like maybe y'all are having to do more sanding because you're cutting birch, because I see a lot of people using birch. I'm gonna tell you what, the maple, if you want to try the maple, you might find that you don't need to sand as much. That might be why, because it just has this beautiful smooth texture to it that I love. And it's actually cheaper than the birch that I was buying at Home Depot. I think that birch was like $28 a sheet. I'm pretty sure, 27 or 28. Sorry, y'all, I got another phone call. I was scared I had cut y'all off because I accidentally answered it. I meant to hit the red button and I hit the green button, but I had to hang up on whoever it was real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's a telemarketer. All right, I think I'm almost done with my edges here. Okay, I think I've got one more piece. All right, I do believe, oh, whoops, hold on. I see some more on this name. Gotta make sure you look at it from all angles. And on this one. Okay, I think we are good. So, let me go grab my big round backboard and we will put all this together. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so pretty. All right, hold on y'all. Let me close up my paint. Okay, sorry, I'm texting my daughter, checking on them. Okay, let me go grab my circle from the kitchen. All right. Scoot y'all back just a tad so I can get all this laid out. All right, this is gonna be the challenge, getting all this on here in the camera. So bear with me for just a moment. Oh, I love it. And like I said, I'm gonna have to do the puzzle again, you guys, because I've gotten this all turned around while I was working on it. Let me put these approximately where they're going to be so I can at least play with them a little bit. There, there, and that goes over there. And let's see, the big one, the little one, these two things. Okay, and then we've got our, there, now I can move this over a little bit. Okay. Oh, look at this, you guys. I love these colors together. Okay, let me get this laid out. So I like to make sure that the grain is going side to side, like the grain of my wood, or at least like my paintbrush strokes going kind of side to side here. All right, and one little thing here. I'm seeing just some spots where the gray needs to be touched up. So hang on while I do that. Yep, I think that is it. Maybe right there. Okay. I'm glad I put this picture over here so I didn't have to keep wondering if I had it laid out right. And I think this is roughly how I want these to go. All right, now let me get my, like I said, I'm gonna have to do my little puzzle again. This piece, let's see. I think, nope, it's more like that, yep. Oh, good. Yep, that fits right there. And then this, right there. Like that. And like, oh no, this goes here. Like that. I'm just getting everything laid out, and then I'm going to glue it down, and then I can hold this up so y'all can see it. I'll show you what glue I use. Hold on, I've lost your comments here because I was texting. You love the maple? Monica, it is, yeah, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. These little tiny guys here, make sure I got them in the right spot. Probably the most challenging part, right? Making sure your puzzle is all where it's supposed to go. Okay, so there's that. And I've got to, the problem is I really need to get up over it. Like, I normally, do you guys lay your, I think that's right. I mean, I know it's right, but I'm like, is it too far away from the edge? I don't think it is. Do you guys lay your stuff out on the floor ever to make sure that it's in the right spot? Sometimes I'll do that, or I'll get up on a, I'll put it on a chair and I'll stand like above it. I know I could have left that in the little outline thing, but I didn't have tape on the back of it. So I'm just gonna lay it out on here and try to get it straight. Let's see if that's in the right spot. Yeah, that looks like it's in the right spot. And the little eye. Gotta turn just so. Okay, I think I have that laid out like I want it. I'm trying to get up high so I can see it. Okay, now, my glue that I use for pretty much everything. Oh, I'm frozen on the screen. I hope I'm not frozen for y'all. Let me refresh here. Is this glue called Stick Fast Thick, and I do like the thick because it doesn't drip. Okay, so make sure if you're ordering it that you're ordering the thick one. Let me make sure I'm not missing your comments here, if anybody added. Okay, don't see any new comments. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna do the letters first. And the trick to gluing, you guys, is that you do not want to use a ton of glue. Too much glue is a big boo-boo that you don't want to make. And sometimes I will engrave, if I'm doing a big sign like this, I will do an offset and engrave more narrow letters onto the board so I know where to put them when I paint it. But did I remember to do that for myself, for my own sign? No, I did not. Which just figures. Laura, I used, so for the round, I actually mixed together black and white chalk paint to make a dark charcoal color. Because my walls are light and I wanted it to pop. Now this is the part that I'm worried about getting straight down here. And sometimes I'll put some heavy things on top to weigh this down while it dries, like some full paint bottles. And, all right, where's my ruler? All right. So I'm just taking a ruler and I'm just making sure that this is straight, which is kind of hard because my cursive words are real curvy. So I hope I'm putting that at the right spot because I'm not far enough away from this to really get a good eye for it, for where I've laid it out. Just a tiny bit of glue. Okay, so does anybody who's watching this video use the 3M sticky adhesive stuff, the sheets? Comment if you do and tell me what you think. I've heard they are fabulous and I just ordered some. They're supposed to be here. I ordered them from Amazon. They're supposed to be here tonight. Haven't gotten here yet. I think from my understanding of it, you put them on, you put it on before you cut, which, I mean, obviously, because, you know, that would make sense. I mean, you can't do it any other way, so that was kind of dumb, but whatever. I'm just babbling, y'all. But that's got to be a little bit hard because I don't always know exactly where I'm going to want to cut. But I guess once in a while, they will come in handy. I'm just gluing and gluing and gluing. Okay, I think I got that pretty straight. So now I'm gonna turn this around and we'll do the flowers. And I'll hold this up at the end. Hopefully it'll be dry enough for me to hold up. I'll at least like tilt it up a little bit. All right, we are not gonna mess up our puzzle. Probably not a bad idea to etch these flowers on too, so that you know where to put them. Etch them onto your backboard, which would still show through. If you etch them enough, they would still show through even if you painted it a dark color like this. That's what I like about it. You can still see the lines enough to be able to use them when you're putting your puzzle together. And honestly, these aren't perfect because I'm probably not turning the flowers the exact right way, but I'm live and I don't want to play with it but for too long before I just decide to go ahead and make a decision here. And since it's for me, I don't need to worry about any imperfections. Because I am not going to be that picky about it. I think that it turned out great. This one up here, lots of little lines. Just tiny dabs of glue. This is where those 3M things would really come in handy, I'm sure. Oh, see, and that's not gonna, oh shoot. Do y'all see what I did there? Daggone it. And I don't think I can pull this back up. I think it's too late to move that over. I am not going to worry about it because it's my sign and I'm not going to worry about that. It's not perfect right there. It's hard to do this upside down on camera too. Okay. All right, you guys. I think I got all my pieces glued down. I may go back and put a little leaf piece in there or something just to kind of fill that in. But honestly, I don't think anybody would notice. I'm going to put this back up And okay, so this is gonna go behind me. I'm gonna actually wait. See, I'm backwards now, y'all. It's totally throwing me off. I gotta turn the camera that way. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm backwards because I have flipped it so it's not in selfie mode anymore. So like I said, this sign is going behind me where this TV is. We're gonna take that down and we're gonna put this sign up. So let me kind of, hopefully I can hold it up without it falling apart yet. It's not dry. But this glue dries really fast. All right, so there is our sign. I love it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't think I'm gonna worry about those leaves quite so much. I don't think anybody would ever notice. All right, so that's it. And this file is in my Etsy shop. I will link it in the comments, but it's also, I did post it in the group today. So I've got it in there if anybody would like to purchase it. And thanks for sticking with me for so long, guys. I really appreciate it. And all my boo-boos and all my, you know, rambling. But I'll be live again Friday. I'm not sure what time, but my friend Joy is going to come over and we're going to do a live together. And I'm not sure what she's painting either. So when we know for sure, we will post in the group and let you know. But I really appreciate you joining me, and I promise I'll be live more often from now on. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to y'all again soon. Thanks. Bye.